Who was in the party yesterday? Yes. One thing that I realized there was that you guys really like Vue.js. And it's not working well. Yeah, no. Vue.js was like, the guy was like, yeah, fly almost. And I also wanted to know, is there anyone from this group here? Because those guys really enjoyed the party yesterday. They did. And in the end of all, I actually did a freelancer and put some beers there. But going to the going to the talk itself. I am Rodolfo Dias. You can find me, and it's not work, but you can find me on my Twitter here. And I work for Outfittery. That's a German company that works for like fashion market for men's only. And talking about the important things now, the platforms for improvements. What comes to your mind when you think about animations? What? Cool. But animations. Yeah, good, cartoons. But animations like to develop animation. What comes to your mind like in, I don't know, in 2000? In 2000? Come on. Like Flash, come on, in cartoons as well. And a good friend of mine, once in a talk, he said that the most famous client-side projects, yes, the most famous client-side projects were fated to die. And if you take a look in the example that we had with Flash, it was super good. Flash could solve a lot of problems that we had, but it wasn't native. The user should add a new, what's the name for it? Yes. Add a new plugin to make your application work. And then the platform broke a lot of things better with HTML5 and Canvas, for example. And now you could use everything that you already used with Flash, but using with Canvas, and now everything's native. The user doesn't need to install anything more, and the user doesn't need to install anything, and it will work perfectly to him. Another good example was with this guy. Does anybody here use this? Come on. Don't be shy, man. And one good thing that jQuery did was that the developer experience there was improved a lot. Because back in the days, for example, you manipulate the DOM. Where's the water? To manipulate the DOM, you would have to do a lot of things with JavaScript to be able to do that. And now, you can do basically like this. And use CSS selectors, query selectors to get the elements that you want to manipulate. And everything is working like magic. Whoop. Yeah. Everything's working like magic. And that's the new stuff that I want to show now. Because for animations, we had Flash. Then the community had Green Socks. It was super good, but it's still not native. And now the web platform is proposing this thing that's called Web Animations API. But first of all, I would like to just explain a bit about what's an animation. So if you have, yeah, it's better. If you have this piece of chocolate here, and you wanna move it to the other side like this, you will have a lot of different images, like sequential images, that will be moving to the first point to the last point. But it will be moving, it will be like changing the image so fast that for your brain, it will work like an animation. And it will create this timeline here for you. And how have you been creating animations nowadays? The first case, and most simple case, is like hover interactions that you just, thank you. Thank you, guys. So for example, if you have this chocolate piece again, and you wanna, when the user hover the element here, you wanna make it bigger, and then when he leaves, you want to let it go back to the first state. What you have to do basically is, I don't know, just get your element, set the pseudo selector, hover, add the transition that you want to make. Then you use the the transform, and then use the transition property to use it. And it will work like this. It will become bigger, then start to the first state. But if we go to some more complex animations, the things are different, because now we can use CSS animations, more keyframes, and it's super good. But first, who here has a pet at home? I don't have, but... And yeah, because I mean, I had 2 pets in Brazil, my 2 dogs, Bebe and Bolota. It's like baby and small ball, something like this. And I really wanted to have them connected to me, because now they are in Brazil with my mother. So I created this dog here that will help me to show the examples. So if you have those animations here that are basically like, the clouds moving around and the tail shaking, what we need to do is basically, the first thing is get the elements that we want to animate. After that, we need to define the keyframes for it, for all the animations. And after that, we just need to use the animations there. Things that we already have done like for a while. But, I mean, what are the problems here? And actually, wait, it's not what are the problems, but how can we improve it? Because, for example, you have some performance issues. The development experience is not that good, because to change the state of an animation, for example, with CSS animations, you have to, I don't know, change classes, and it will be a mess in the future to maintain the animations and the code. And yeah, and the behavior manipulation. And that's the point. How can we animate nowadays using this Web Animations API? And for example, if we still have Snoopy here and we wanted to do the same animation with him, we can, first thing, get the elements that we want to animate, just simple like this. Then we can define this object with the options for the animation. And then you can see that these options here are already like noded by CSS animations, like transitions, interactions, those kinds of things. So you can use everything that you already know from CSS, from Flash, already in the Web Animation API. Then after that, you need to create a keyframe. And in the first parameter, you need to add the element that you want to animate. The second parameter, the keyframes. And the last parameter, the options. After that, you still need to create an animation and attach to the document timeline to be able to play it. You know, it's really complicated. Like, it's a huge piece of code just to write this thing. And they have like the shorter version for it that will be much more easy. You just need to still do the same things here, but now you just need to play it like this. You get the element dot animate, And in the first parameter, you send the keyframes and after the animation options. And then his tail is shaking now, and he's happy. But for the other things, it's the same stuff. You just need to get the elements, define the keyframes for the clowns, for example, and add it to the animation. But now the point is, where is the power here? Because I mean, I talked about this thing. I said that that is super cool, but I didn't show anything much more cooler, you know. And the good part of it is that the Web Animation API has some properties that you can use to get the state of your property, for example, do you know if it's paused or finished or even running. And you have some other more properties also that you can, yes. And you have also like event handlers to pause the animation and play it or cancel it or even like play it in reverse. And then for the properties, we have everything from CSS animations. You can use the same properties of CSS keyframes and CSS animations, and it will work perfectly. So now let's imagine that he will sleep, and then he will wake up. Yes, like this. For that, I'm just like clicking on his head, and I will show how it works. Yes. First of all, I just have like those two different kind of eyes, the sleepy eyes and the awake one. And when I click on his head, I call this function here. Handle snoop rest. And for make it happen, like I call this function here that will tell me if he's awake or not. And to know it, I just use this snoop animation and the play state. Because if it's different than paused, it means that he's shaking the tail. And if he's awake, he will sleep. Otherwise, he will just awake easily. And then I show the elements or hide them, and I keep this property here. That means that after my animation be done, it will keep the final state, like the forwards. And yes, and this is the animation that will make him sleep. I will just show hide the awake eyes and then show the sleep, and then I will pause. I will pause my tail animation, because that will mean that he is like not awake. I hope. And about the developer experience, it's super good because I will show you here. Yeah. I have a friend with internet stuff. Can you turn on the yes? Okay. Yes, it's working. Yes. And now I have the same animation that I showed you guys here, and if I click here to stop, then it will shake again. But I want to show about this thing here. If you run the animation again, yes. If you run the animation again, you can see everything playing like frame by frame here. And if, for example, if you want to debug your animation to see like how to manipulate it better to become more like real, the animation that you are creating, you can, for example, isolate the animation and then like play it slower or like faster even, or you can pause it, or play everything again. So you can easily manipulate everything that you are doing with the animation. And after that, here, yes, I have this other thing, this other animation here. That's the same guy, but for that I need someone who could help me with Polish. And I will ask to someone here for the first line is Polish, who can speak Polish. No. Are you sure you can speak Polish? Okay, so come here, please. So, what are you thinking about the conference? Is it going well?
Yeah, it's going well.
Okay, what's your name? David. Okay. So first, I need you to speak close to the thing. And for example, I hope it will work. Yes. Yes. If you start speaking close to the computer, and it's like talking to the dog, right? Do you have a dog at home?
No.
Okay. So let me, you first like ask how is the day and things like this. And then you can see that the computer is recognizing everything. You can talk.
Okay. Dzień dobry, piesku.
Piesku, yeah. Yes. It's and then you can say him to sleep.
Czy możesz iść spać?
Yes, in his left. And now, I think he's rested already. You can ask him to awake again.
Obudź się. Wstań.
I don't know. I mean,
Pobudka.
I don't know. I asked to 5 Polish friends how to say like a wake up, and all of them say like 10 different words for me. So I don't really know. I mean, can you? Yeah. What?
Maybe pobudka.
Try. I don't know.
Pobudka. Może nie śpi. Nie śpi.
I don't know. Like he's really tired, This one here.
Wstawaj. Maybe wstawaj.
I mean, this one here. Wait. Oh.
Okay. Obudź się.
Yes. Now wake again. Okay.
Obudź się.
Yes. Now it's wake. Yeah, he's just started. But yeah, thank you. That was all for today. Yeah. The one thing that's not that the thing that's not good is the support for it yet, because it's still a experimental API, so you can play with it. But I mean, if you need to have like support for mobile only in Android, for example, you can use it, but not for iOS and Microsoft Edge. And another thing I want to show you guys is this project here I created with a friend of mine when I was creating it, because I wanted to. It's not this one. This one. Because I wanted to find some examples to how the people were like creating animations with it. And the only person where I could like find some good things was this girl here. This girl here, she's called Rachel Neighbors, and she have been working with a lot of animations for the past 2 years. And I created this project to join many projects that people have been working with, and then make like a gallery for it. So I created this web animations playground. You can go here and send your pull request. I will be, yes, I will be really happy. It's really easy to create the pull request and send the animations that you have created. And another question, like, does anybody here already use this web animation API? Cool. And how was, look at me, please. How was the experience like for you? How did you find it like to bring the knowledge that you had from like animations with CSS? Do you have the? Yeah, you can speak loud.
Okay. So basically, it's pretty similar to KEYFRAMES.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that some another stuff coming like animation workplace.
Mm-hmm.
You can use not the document timeline, but the timeline from scroll or something else.
Mm-hmm. So, but did you enjoy it? Like, did you like it or?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I mean, I will pay you later. And you can find all these slides in this link here, and also in my Twitter. And Jikuya,